Welcome to the module on portions out of control. So pretty simply, you should have your handout with a bagel on the top that says portions out of control. So we know that things have gotten bigger. We know that portions have gotten bigger over the years. And it's really interesting to note that serving sizes have inflated dramatically since the 1980s. And even cookbooks are suggesting larger portion sizes than they have in the past. The lure of better value has drawn us in. We want to get more for our money, especially when our economy is getting so tight, when people are getting much tighter with their money due to the economy. And this has led to a catastrophic effect on U.S. population's waistlines. Not only are we eating cheaply processed foods because it's cheaper, we're eating more of it because these companies that make these processed foods, they get subsidies from the government, which make it cheaper to process their food. So that's what they're feeding us, and we're getting more of it. Now, 1 cup of pasta, for example, has almost 200 calories, and that used to be the typical serving size in a restaurant. Now, some restaurants, especially the ones that are traditionally Italian, are giving you a sewer cap full or sewer cap sized plate full of pasta, and we're getting almost 3 times that amount for one sitting, and that's 600 calories. That's 600 calories for just the pasta noodles. You're not talking about any meat that's in it. You're not talking about the garlic bread, the soup, the salad, whatever else you're eating with it. Bagels used to be pretty small, 2 to 3 ounces. And they were about 200 calories. Well, now they're like 5 to 6 ounces, and they're typically about 420 calories just for a bagel. And that's before you put anything on it. A half ounce used to be about what a cookie was, and it was about 50 or 60 calories. But even in some of your healthier places, like Subway, you can go in and get a cookie that's this big. And you can get cookies that are even bigger than that from other places, and they're 400 or 500 calories. And they're 4 ounces instead of half an ounce. So these things are getting much bigger, and we're eating it. Between your processed sugars and your processed flours, we're eating more of it because it doesn't fill us up. I want you to think about this for a second, and this is the premise that we're pretty much going to be on for our entire program, is the idea of volumetrics. When you have let's say you're on a 2,200 calorie diet, right? And you have a package of Oreos. A package of Oreos is about as big as this file folder, right? So that's about 2,200 calories just by itself. Now you could probably eat a package of Oreos by lunchtime, right? Probably, especially if you're just snacking a little at a time. But what's the problem with that? Isn't it going to keep you full? Well, no, because it's not nutrient dense. It's basically processed sugar, processed flour, and a lot of other fun, tricky ingredients, and that gets into your bloodstream nice and quickly, leaves you flat, or gets into your bloodstream quickly, gives you that boost of energy, then leaves you flat, and then you want more. So you might have your 2,200 calories by lunchtime, but because it didn't have enough fiber to keep you full, you want more. Now, what happens if you're on a 2,200 calorie diet and you eat whole unprocessed foods? Well, then now you can have a pound of lettuce, a pound of celery, a pound of cantaloupe, a pound of apples. You can have bananas. You can have 2 pounds of cottage cheese. You can have a pound of tofu. You can have all this food. I mean, you can, for 2,200 calories with whole unprocessed food, you can fill an entire table, an entire 8-foot table full of food that is high in fiber, high in nutrients. They're going to keep you fuller longer and have less calories. So we're looking for more nutrient dense, less calorie dense foods. Just also going back to this portions, to put it into perspective, bigger portions mean that we're eating more. And we're eating 30 to 50% more. Moviegoers, when they were given a larger bucket of popcorn as opposed to a smaller container of popcorn, ate 61% more popcorn. M&Ms. People who are given a bag of 103 M&Ms, so that's like the jumbo bag, ate 103 M&Ms as opposed to when they were getting a smaller bag where they only ate about 63 M&Ms. So that's, again, that's about a good 40% more. When cooking, people poured 4.3 ounces of oil from a 32-ounce bottle, a bigger bottle, but only about 3.5 ounces from a 16-ounce bottle. So buying a smaller bottle, people tend to conserve more because then they associate that with, oh man, I gotta go spend more money. So what are some things you can do to control portions? Well, one portion control tip is use smaller containers. Break down your leftovers into single serving containers so you're less tempted to eat the entire serving out of guilt for wasting food. So here's another good thing to do. Make large meals, but break them out into smaller containers, especially for people that are time crunched. You can have it right there, it's ready to go, and as long as you have somewhere to heat it up, or if it's a cold dish, you have it right there. So you're cooking once, but you're able to eat off of that all week. Have a salad before eating your meal. That fiber is going to keep you fuller longer, especially if you wash that salad down with some water as opposed to wine. Now here's a tricky tip. When you're out at a restaurant, they always offer you wine first because they know that if you have a little bit of alcohol in your system while you're hungry, your stomach or your eyes actually get bigger than your stomach and you end up ordering more food. So a lot of times they'll offer you the wine first. So eat a salad and have water first. Then get your meal and have wine and you'll eat less. Buy or make single serving snacks. Again, this is another good thing for people that are on the run. Have some granola that doesn't have a lot of added sugar. We'll talk specifically about sugar. We'll give you a granola bar recipe or granola recipe when the time comes. So have those kind of things so you have something to snack on. Nuts, pieces of fruit, those kind of things. So, you know, have those single serving snacks. With a banana, you're getting 120 calories. With a bag of chips, well, it depends on how many of the chips you eat, but people have a tendency to eat a major portion of that bag. Keep seconds out of sight. Fill your plate, fill your bowl, walk away. That's one of the tips I have at parties. Try and sit away from the food so you're not tempted by it. And lastly, have mini meals throughout the day. I'm a big fan of fueling yourself up for the activities that you're about to go through the day. So if you have a very busy morning, eat a heavy breakfast, eat a large breakfast. That's going to fuel you through your day. Maybe have a snack in there somewhere, a healthy snack, your banana, or a handful of nuts. That should sustain you through lunch. Now if you have a busy afternoon, you can have a big lunch too. So have a big lunch and it can sustain you through your day. Now if you're one of those people who, when nighttime comes, it's time to kick back, relax, either hang out with the kids, watch some TV, hang out with the wife, read a book, something. You don't need as many calories. So you want to have a lighter dinner. This is where you should have maybe a salad or a soup. The actual word for soup comes from supplement, supper comes from supplement, so your dinner should be a supplemental meal. Now when you wake up in the morning, especially if you have a busy morning, you should be hungry because you are having breakfast. Break that word down. Break fast. So you're breaking your fast overnight in the morning. So you should wake up hungry and then you fuel yourself for the things that you're about to do. The only time I would suggest eating late at night before you go to bed is if you're going to work out first thing in the morning. It's about the only time I would suggest it. But if you're not working out first thing in the morning, small meals at night, and then break your fast in the morning.